Blacksad is the most acclaimed European comics or bande dessinée series of the 21st century. It's written by Juan Diaz Canales, with art by Juanjo Guarnido, and in between the year 2000 and now 2017, there were published only 5 albums. This is the first, Somewhere in Between the Shadows, which is a very typical hard-boiled crime noir kind of story about treason and jealousy and murder. And it was published in the year 2000. Then in 2003, Arctic Nation came out, which is a story about a white supremacy group and with revenge as a theme. In 2005, it was published Red Soul, a story with a nuclear weaponry and communism as a background. And then in 2010, we got Hell Silence, which is a take on the New Orleans jazz scene and drugs and an old secret. And then in 2014, Amarillo, a road trip kind of story featuring a little bit the beat generation or the beatniks. From these 5 albums, I have to say my favorite one is the first, especially because of the art. Here, Juanjo Guarnido, the artist and colorist, puts such a great amount of detail in every frame. There is only a few panels with less than spectacularly detailed backgrounds, and everything is so well done, so well planned. Every little detail counts, and look at this. This is wonderful. Every framing is perfect, and it is really, really a masterpiece. In the subsequent albums of this series, I feel the art of Juanjo Guarnido keeps becoming more and more simple and less detailed, and that's hardly noticeable. Only now that I read the entire series in a take was I able to notice it. But this first volume really is the masterpiece that gave all the fame to this amazing series. So we are following John Blacksad, this private detective with a very kind and honest art, and this is really highly, highly recommended. There's a panel here which I have to show because for me it's one of the loveliest panels I ever saw. Look at this. Look at all the detail the light, the floors, everything. And there's also a lot of care placed in the way the characters dress, and this is wonderful, really. And both Canales and Guarnido have a background in animation. Guarnido worked for the French Disney animation studios, and he has a great notion of movement and of characters' expression. It's absolutely lovely. And it's not that the other albums aren't also spectacular, because they are. But you can just notice a little bit less detail is being put out. This is the second album. And here's the white supremacists from this Arctic Nation organization. Nazis, essentially. And if you notice, there's a color thematic. The first album is black, the second one is white, the third one is red, and so on. So maybe the sixth album, which with some luck we might get in 2018, who knows, maybe that one will be green. Just my hunch. So in the third album, Blacksad meets an old professor of him, an old college professor, who is an authority in nuclear power. And then the fourth album, which takes place in New Orleans. And look how careful the clothing design always is, and very much perfect. So, in 17 years so far, we only have 5 albums published, and even for European standards, that's really slow. I mean, you understand, with the amount of detail the artist places in each of these albums, it wouldn't be possible to make it in less than 6 months or something like that. Typically, a European album is 48 pages, and the first Blacksad album is indeed 46 pages of comics in a 48 pages album. The rest of the series is a bit longer, with each album being 54, 56 pages, but still, this is not the most prolific duo in the European comics scene, for sure. And here, in this 6th album, Guarnido's art becomes considerably less detailed. We still have some amazing panels, but in general, it is not as rigorously detailed and consistent as especially the first album. But also the rest of the series. And the writing is very, very good. In these European albums, because of the reduced number of pages, the writing needs to be very compressed. And there's a great care placed in choosing each of the panels shown in the pages. Every panel counts for the storytelling. And this series never ends with a happy end. It's also not the worst finale or the most tragic finale possible, but it's always more bitter than sweet, although there's always a little bit of hope left. Blacksad, highly, highly recommended. It is very fairly the most acclaimed European series of the last 15, 17 years. And let's just hope that it won't take Diaz Canales and Juanjo Guarnido a very long time to present us with a 6th album from the series. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.